How does a boxer in his prime go from the heavyweight champion of the world to an inactive has-been in
Wow, man, look at the downfall of one of the... Dude, he could have been much more, bro. This guy could have been much more, bro, but the fame, the money got to him, and yeah, man, he lost track of what got him there, the hunger.
a single year? From knocking out the undefeated unified champ in the upset of the century to fighting only...
That was such a big moment, man. I was so excited when... And Ruiz managed to knock out Anthony Joshua
twice since 2019.
Wow.
Well, in the rematch, Anthony Joshua weighed in at a trim, disciplined 237 pounds, and Andy Ruiz weighed in with his shirt on. This was the moment I knew Ruiz was a one-hit wonder. After months of celebrating and casual training, he showed up in terrible shape.
Don't tell my coach.
The biggest fight of his life, and he was feeling embarrassed at weigh-ins. It's a classic cautionary tale, and unfortunately, Andy Ruiz is far from being the first.
That's what I'm saying. He could have been much better because he had potential. He did have the skills to keep on going, but it's sad to see, man.
And he certainly won't be the last. The one-hit wonder is perhaps the most interesting and tragic character in boxing. For a brief moment in history, he shocks the world, becomes champion, and fundamentally challenges what we think we know about the sport. Money and fame enter the picture, and we see our newly crowned champion fly a little too close to the sun, only to collapse spectacularly and fade into obscurity. But how exactly do we define a one-hit wonder? Some champs get to defend their title once or twice, and some stay contenders until they retire. The first Joshua fight earned the Ring magazine's Upset of the Year, and that got me thinking. Going back to 1970, the Ring gave this award to the sport's most unlikely winners. The overlooked and underestimated. Fighters who shocked the world just like Ruiz. But taking a deeper look, it might spell trouble instead. Of every fighter to win Upset of the Year, 23 of them would go on to lose their immediate next fight. And for 23 of our underdogs, they would never touch a title again for the rest of their career. Roughly half failed to repeat their success, making it a complete coin toss. And this makes sense. Upsets are won by the underrated, so after their coming out party, elite opposition usually brings them back down to earth. There's also the case of the rematch. 20 of these men had the opportunity to prove it wasn't luck the first time, but of those 20, only 6 were able to win again. Andy Ruiz was not one of those 6. So it seems that Upset of the Year can mean 100%. One of two things. You're a future Hall of Famer defying the odds, or you scored a lucky one. Of those 20,
Wow, Nonito Donair's in there, of course. What up?
Only 6 were able to win again. Andy Ruiz was not one of those 6. So it seems that Upset of the Year can mean 1 of two things. You're a future Hall of Famer defying the odds, or you scored a lucky punch and your 15 minutes of fame is already ticking. Take for example the Rumble in the Jungle. Muhammad Ali was a 4-1 underdog against George Foreman in the jungle. Muhammad Ali was a 4-1 underdog against George Foreman, and even his own team feared for his life.
Why are you all looking so pale and scared? Act like you're going to the funeral. I'm the one fighting George Foreman. You've been believing all that stuff you've been reading about how hard he hits. George Foreman knocked out Joe Frazier. He'll destroy the kid. The hell with George Foreman. When you get out here, if you're afraid, just smile. Just act like you're happy. I'm not gonna win the fight if I went out thinking like you. Damn George Foreman.
But Ali would employ the rope-a-dope, tire out Big George, and ultimately knock him out to further solidify his greatness. Even though it was a major upset, Ali is the furthest thing from a one-hit wonder because he was great before and continued to be great after this fight. In 2007, unknown flyweight Nonito Donair broke onto the scene with a violent one-punch knockout over undefeated champion Vic Darchinyan. The Filipino Flash was awarded the Upset of the Year and instead of fading away, went on to become a 4-division world champ, scoring highlight reel knockouts, holding titles for 3 consecutive decades, and always fighting the best.
Beast,
Donaire
Mauricio
is the
Donaire.
perfect example of a young boxer
that guy.
defying the odds and staying at the elite level into his older age. In other words, not letting the success get to his head.
Yep.
Then you have someone like Marcos Maidana.
Oh,
I
no.
hesitate to call him a one-hit wonder because he had such a storied career before the Mayweather fights. And despite having good names on his resume, he lost his first 2 title shots. But Maidana would get his big break against
Broner.
Adrian Broner. You already know this story. Broner is the undefeated, loudmouth champion boxer.
Yep.
Maidana is the underrated, quiet puncher.
After I fuck him up December 14th, I can promise you this. It's gonna get ugly.
By Maidana that sticks another right hand. Broner goes down for the first time in his career.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you, leg. Oh, my God. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, no. Look at him walking. Oh, Jesus.
The hook got Broner for the second time in the fight. Oh, left hook chopping right hand. A left hook to the body. Left hook upstairs. Broner trying to hold on.
Well, Broner got humbled. He was a 5-1 favorite, and Maidana took his belt, won upset of the year, and set up a super fight against Floyd Mayweather. A fight he would lose but do well enough in to warrant a rematch. And after 2 fights against the face
Yeah.
of boxing, he made enough money to retire. Sure, he only made $4.5 million to Mayweather's 64, but they don't call him money for nothing. So at 31 years old, with millions in his bank account, Maidana retired. He was champ for 4 months, made a boatload of money, and got out the game. Not quite a
Damn.
one-hit wonder, but some made a
Wow,
billions in
what
his
a
bank
smart
account.
move right there,
Maidana
man.
retired. He was
And your boy Maidana, bro, he went full Peter Griffin in this bitch and got a little heavy up in this.
champ
motherfucker,
for
bro.
4 months, made a boatload of money, and got out the game. Not quite a
Wow.
one-hit wonder, but something
Oh, I didn't know that he was champion for 4 months.
like it. Now for the
Okay.
sadder and much more common case. There is
Oh,
perhaps
yeah.
no greater example of a one-hit wonder than
Douglas.
James Buster Douglas. The
Oh.
42-1 underdog knocked out a prime Mike Tyson to the shock of the entire sporting world. Douglas was the new undisputed heavyweight champion, and after declining a
Wow.
rematch with Tyson, accepted Evander Holyfield for his first defense.
Yeah.
Douglas arrived in Las
Smashed.
Vegas as the man who conquered Tyson, but he wasn't the same fighter.
Yep.
He had the luxury villa at the Mirage and reportedly ate and drank
A Buster or oh shit, okay. Damn, so he pretty much
everything under
was-
the sun leading up to the fight. The champ spent more time in the pool than in the gym. When fight night came around, he weighed in at a soft, pillowy 246, 15 pounds heavier than he had against Tyson. The fight was rough. He was slow to move around the ring
Oh,
and
yeah,
telegraphed
look at
his
that.
punches, leading to a 3rd round knockout. Douglas
Oh,
retired after the bout, and just like that, his 15 minutes of fame was up. He then
Yeah.
ballooned to 400 pounds, suffered from diabetes, and enjoyed his money. Buster Douglas began 1990 as an unknown challenger, won the undisputed championship
Yeah.
in February, celebrated a little too much, and was retired by October. After making 26
Crazy.
million in a single year, I don't blame him. So it's no secret why
20. Damn, bro. $26 million. That is quite a lot of money. Man.
sudden, unforeseen underdogs burn
Straight up.
bright and then fizzle out. The great Marvin Hagler said it best. It's tough to get out of bed to do road work at 5 a.m. when you've been sleeping in silk pajamas. The same affliction that got Buster Douglas got Andy Ruiz. Training comes natural when you're the challenger, but when you're the champion, not so easy. In preparation for the rematch, Joshua was locked in, training hard and sparring monsters. He lost his belts, so naturally he was hungry. Ruiz, on the other hand, showcased his lifestyle through daily vlogs. Leading up to the fight, he could be seen getting multiple haircuts a week, buying fast cars, shopping, and of course, eating. Lots and lots of eating. He assured his fans he was in good condition, but weigh-ins reveal all. Joshua showed up inside. He was in.
Andy the Destroyer. I'm ready to keep making history and remaining champion 7th of December. Motivated and hungrier than ever. Well, you weren't wrong about the hungry part. You were definitely hungry, but you weren't hungry for glory, man. You were hungry for fucking tacos and hamburgers, bro. Taras and enchiladas, and that was all this guy was hungry for. Roll Pilato division.
Good condition, but weigh-ins reveal all. Joshua showed up in Saudi Arabia lean and in shape, ready to box. Ruiz had a fresh fade, but came in at 284 pounds, far from fighting shape. Through 12 rounds, Andy struggled with his newfound weight, unable to cut off the ring and too slow to hurt his opponent. Joshua danced around him, jabbing and sniping his way to a unanimous decision victory. It was a masterclass for the Brit and an embarrassing performance for the Mexican-American. After the fight, he admitted he didn't train as hard as he could.
I think I didn't prepare as how I should have, and I gained too much weight. If we do the third fight, best believe I'm gonna get in best shape, and I'm gonna be the best shape of my life.
Well, guess what? That never happened. Because he just completely lost motivation after that fight and just wasn't hungry. You know how Joshua was hungry after he lost the title? He became hungry again, you know. Meanwhile, this guy loses his championship, and instead of getting motivation, on going, you know, what does he do? You know, he just doesn't do anything.
Buster Douglas before him, Andy Ruiz lived like a champion, but he didn't train like one.
A lot of things was going on my plate, you know.
So since the loss, what has Ruiz done to bounce back? Well, apart from getting knocked down by Chris Arreola and looking hittable against an ancient Luis Ortiz, not much. To be fair, he got the wins and put his hand speed on display, but after an incredible 2019, fighting only twice.
Look at this shit, man. Fucking embarrassing.
Twice in the 5 years since is a shame. He fired the coach that.
Yeah, man, that's what got me, bro. Manny Robles, bro. This guy. Wow, he sent his dad. The fact that Andy Ruiz Jr. didn't have the nuts to go over there and fire his trainer face to face. He had to send his dad to fire him. That is an embarrassment. Well, my good thing Manny Robles, man, left that dude. That dude, yeah, whatever. His loss, bro. It's his loss.
That made him champion. He couldn't keep up with the daily work ethic in Canelo's camp, and after
oh, yep, they kicked his ass out.
Pricing himself out of fights with Wilder and Fury, he's become an inactive shell of his former self. Many have called his discipline and motivation into question after noticing his lack of fights. After his first unsuccessful title challenge, he took 15 months off, and after the Joshua rematch, he was nowhere to be seen for a year and a half. Contrast this with AJ, who since losing twice to Usyk has rattled off 4 wins in 11 months, each more impressive than the last. Or Joseph Parker, who after getting brutally knocked out by Joe Joyce, has won 5 in a row to put himself back in title contention. At 34 years old, Ruiz is burning his prime years, and as other heavyweights continue to improve and strive for greatness, Ruiz is fading into irrelevance.
He's pretty much the forgotten heavyweight at this point, you know. He's pretty much out of the picture, you know. I don't consider him top 5 at all. Not even close. Like probably top 10 maybe, but I don't think he's top 5 anymore.
In fact, every governing body.
Look at that. Wow, they don't have him. He's done. He's nowhere near top 10 in the rankings, bro.
And boxing publication has him outside of their top 10, where he was a mainstay just a few years ago. But beyond his activity and the inability to control his weight, the biggest shame about Andy Ruiz is all of the potential fight
Yeah, look at that. Fury versus Ruiz. That would have been nice.
we missed out on.
I want
Discounting
to.
everything else,
Whatever,
Ruiz
man.
is still an exciting fighter with an incredible story. A shorter, chubby inside fighter with fast hands that gets better after he gets hurt,
he
he
should've.
introduced much needed drama into a stagnant division that refused to fight each other. Just think of all the great matchups we were robbed of. Ruiz versus Wilder, Ruiz versus Zhang, the Parker rematch, the list goes on. When Andy Ruiz shows up in shape, he's one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. As a fan of boxing, I hope to see his ring return sooner than later. I just hope he hasn't priced himself out of the sport
man.
altogether. Remember when Ruiz
think he's
ate this punch
done,
from
bro.
Anthony Joshua?
The champ with the right hand.
Well, Francis Ngannou took the same exact cross. Both had just gotten up from the canvas, but the result was wildly different.
I mean, it just shows you, bro. Fucking Ruiz I think Ruiz could beat the shit out of Ngannou. Look, man. Hopefully he comes back because he is an exciting fucking heavyweight. He's unique. His hand speed is unique for a heavyweight. And he is exciting, man. But I just don't think he's going to come back at all. I think he's finished. I think, the money got to him. Everything got to him. Now his trainer left him. Or no, he fired his trainer. Canelo kicked him out. It's just, this guy is just undisciplined and he just lost his way, man. And if he tries to come back at 34, we'll see, man. But it sucks. It sucks to see that instead of getting more motivation after losing, just like Joshua Parker, even you can put Dubois in there, bro. All these guys that lose, they come back and they want to avenge their loss, or they want to prove to the world that they're still the best. Unlike Ruiz, man. I think Ruiz, he just lost it. He lost the love for the sport, and I just don't think he will come back. Yeah, man. He's not, like I said, he's not even in the top 10 in any of the organizations. So yeah, he is finito.